Okay, the next topic that I'm going to talk in this session will be the relational operators. We will use the relational or logical expression in C in order to show the relation, the relational expression in C in the if clause or in the for loop, right? In the part of the logical expression. So it's very simple that you can use the relational operators. We can subdivide into two parts. The first one is the equality operators, right? You can use, if you want to check for the equality of two expression or two variables, you can use, instead of using just only single equality sign, you have to use double equal, right? For example, in C condition, you can use, if you want to check whether x is equal to y or not, you can use double equality, right? In order to check whether two variables is not equal, you can use exclamation mark here and equal sign, right? It means x is not equal to y. And for greater than or less than sign, you can simply use greater than and less than sign. But if you want to use greater than or equal, less than or equal sign, you have to use greater than, equal, and less than equal sign altogether. Put them together. Cannot put blank here. There is no blank here. Okay, here is an example program, C program, in order to show you the relational operators in C, right? Maybe it is quite small, okay, but it's not that difficult. You can see it in the chapter 2 in the textbook that I gave you last night. Okay, from this program, you want to check two integers, whether it is equal or not, or less than or greater than, right? If you input 3 and 7, right, you can see that 3 is not equal to 7, but 3 is less than 7, and 3 is less than or equal to 7. That is correct, right? So here we are, the if clause here. I'm not sure whether I can enlarge this one. If you can see that, you can see if, right, if clause, many if clause in this program. You have 6 if clause, right? In order to check the conditions for num1 and num2, right? This program that you start with the integer declaration num1 and num2, and then you get to integer. So you can see that this one, second F here, you have to input %sign D to input. So you have to input, you have to format %sign D, right? And then you use ampersand num1 and ampersand num2, right? This is inside the second F, and then don't forget to put the semicolon here. I like that this bigger because someone cannot see it if you use the mobile phone, right? For me, if I use iPad, I still cannot see it as well. Sorry for the small letter here because I want to put one program in only one page. So, and then you have 6 if clause, right? So if clause is very simple. You can use if like this. If you want to write, to check for num1 equal or to num2 or not, you have to use num1 equal num2, not num, num2. So please remind that this should be equal sign, What's happened? What's happened? This is remark, please. Wake up, wake up. If I forget to write double equal sign, I use only equal sign, what will happen? Compilation error or not? My question is compilation error or not? Someone both answer me that is no compilation error but warning. No. No means cannot compile. Am I right? Error, sunset error. Yes, it will error. It is error. Okay. Many students answer it will be compilation error. My answer is no. It's not. Why? Because you can see that this is an assignment statement. No, assignment symbol. It is assignment symbol. So it means that if you input num is 3, 7. Okay, let me talk about the compilation error first. If you compile this program, if you change this to just only single equality sign, the program will compile, perfectly compile, and then can be executed. But once you run this program, 3 will be put into num1 and 7 will be assigned to num2. And then this expression num2 is 7 and this one is assignment statement. 7 will assign to num1. So num1 will be 7 again. So what's happened? Num1 is equal to 7 again. So in this course, right, you assign to num1. So the meaning of this course will be if num1. If num1. I've told you that in C programming, conditional statement, condition will return, instead of return true or false, if it's false, it will return 0. But if it's true, it can return anything that is not equal to 0. So in this case, num is set to 7 now. So it means that this conditional statement here is true. Is evaluated to be true. So it can be executed. And this will be true all the time. Otherwise, num is input to 0. If num2 is 0, so it will be false. So this statement will not be executed, or the statement will not be printed out. Okay, do you get the point? So you have to be careful of using double equality. If you use it correct or perfectly correct, it's okay. But if you use assignment statement in the place of equal sign, you have to be careful that the result will be incorrect. Even the compilation will not be error. So you have to careful from this. Okay, and what I would like to remark you here again is, normally when I use if clause, if x is greater than or equal to 0, for example, normally I will put braces right after this if clause, always and all the time. Every time I write this, I will put braces, open braces and ending braces all the time. And my style or my tradition, I will put beginning braces right after this if statement, and then I will put ending brace like this the same column of if cost. I use this because I want to indicate that this one is belongs to this if and this brace. This is my style. You can also use if like this and then open and closing braces like this. It's up to you. But I suggest you to use this. The reason why I use this because I will use, if I want to use one if cost, I will use only 2 lines. But if I use this, I have to use 3 lines. This is too much. So that's why I put this to this place. So in order to reduce the number of the lines, but it depends. It's up to you. Right? You can see that this program also we use braces like this. Okay. Next, if you have another input, right? If you use input 22, 12, you can get 3 lines. If you use equal input integers, you have 3 lines as well. That's indicate 7 is equal to 7, and it is also less than or equal, and it is also is greater than or equal as well. So we can have 3 lines. Okay. And for the relational expression, we also have the precedence order of priority in C as well. Once again, the associativity for the arithmetic operations will be used left to right. But for assignment statement, we use right to left. Okay. Why is right to left? Because we have left hand side equal to right hand side of the equal sign and then semicolon, right? We have to evaluate from right to left. And you can see that for the precedence in C, we have to evaluate parentheses first, and then arithmetic later, and then relational next, and then assignment will be the last. Okay, this is the precedence and associativity of the operators in C programming. Okay, before we will go to the next topic, the most important thing that you may have to know, that is the keywords in C. Why do you have to know keywords in C? Because you cannot declare variable. You cannot declare variable of this name, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 32 keywords here. For example, you cannot use if. You declare integer if. No, you cannot, because it is a keyword. Keyword means the words that is used for the C syntax. You cannot use character, integer, long. For an integer, we will keep 4 bytes. Long integer, we will keep 8 bytes. Float, you will store real number 4 bytes. And double, 8 bytes. So you cannot use this one because this will be character will be 1 byte. This is the name of the variable declaration. You can also use unsigned. You can use short 2 bytes. We have unsigned and signed in order to show. For example, if you use integer, it's normally sided. Is normally sided. Sided means you can use it like positive or zero or negative. But if you use integer as unsigned integer, so you are going to define x is in the range from 0, right? X will be positive all the time. Positive plus 0. Actually, I have to say non-negative. And you can also cannot use if is a keyword, right? Else you cannot use, and so on, right? You cannot use these keywords for declaring your variables. This slide you should memorize. Two stars. You need to memorize. You cannot use it. You cannot use them. Okay, next. Okay, here we come to the last topic of today's class, that will be the secure in C programming, right? So you have to avoid single argument printf, right? One such guidelines, but it's not compulsory, is to avoid using printf with a single string argument. For example, welcome to C or hello world, right? You can use printf here and then \n. So sometimes it is someone will suggest that you can just simply use put s. Put mean put string, right? If you want to show welcome to C, right, and then you will terminate with a new line, so you can just simply use put function, right, instead of using printf like this. But it is not the mistake. You can also use this one, but this is in order to make it to be secure, right? You can just put s, right? It will put a string on your screen and then set the new line to this thing as well. So you don't have to include \n in the put s, right? It will add \n on new line automatically. Okay, you can also use put f in the sense that you want to format the string. For example, you can use printf welcome like this, right? But sometimes maybe you can just simply use the string as a variable. You can just simply use printf and then $sign s. S stands for string. We have studied about $sign d for integer, right? But if you want to use long integer, you can use $sign ld. If you want to use float or real number, you can use $sign f for float. If you would use $sign lf, long float, for display double. As I told you, this is 4 bytes for real number, and this one is 8 bytes for real number. You may have to use lf. What happens if you use f for double? If you have the very big number, right, this format cannot be printed out in terms of 4 bytes. But what happens if you use for long f? It's okay. This one is okay, no problem. You put the smaller things into bigger things, that is okay. And also we have $sign s, right, to put the string. So if you want to put welcome here, you can use percent sign s here. Sometimes you want to what's happened? I cannot delete. If you want to okay, sometimes you can see percent sign minus s. Minus 5s. Okay, let me start with the percent sign 10s first. What does it mean by 10s? If you put an integer in front of the formatted sign here. Suppose you want to print welcome here. So 10 means you print, you have to allocate 10. Okay, 10 characters here. And then if you put 10s, right, and you print welcome with one blank, so blank will be here, and then E will be put like this. It will be right justify. Right justify. It will be like this. So this one is right justify. Right justify. But if you put minus here, you will get welcome. That is left justify. Welcome. And then blank, I put blank like this, and then two blank character. Blank. Okay. Not bad, nah? Blank. Sometimes you may want to use the left justify that, right justify that for your string. You can use minus or plus, no, not plus sign, just only a positive integer, right? Similarly to the case of percent sign d, if you want to leave some space at the beginning of the integer, let's say for, if you want to print 17, right? But you want to let it right justified, right? For example, if you want to put it in the account paper, right? Accounting paper, you want to place it right justify, you can use percent sign minus 5d. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here in order to make it to be right justified. You can use minus sign. But if you didn't put minus, it will be left justified automatically. Okay, let me, I don't know why I cannot delete this one. Maybe I will have to finish today's class with the conditional statement. This one you have already seen in the laboratory last week, right? So I will go through it very fast. Okay, so first of all, I want to introduce you the if statement. If then statement will be like this, right? If and then test expression, that would be relational expression, and then you put the body right inside of the braces, and this one will be the flowchart of the if statement. You can use diamond sign in order to check for the test statement. Okay, I come back. I don't know why I cannot delete this one. So you may have to see this all the time. Maybe the system has been crashed. So no problem. I will go to it about the if statement. You can still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And I will finish today's class with the if statement. Okay, so you can convert from the C program here to the flowchart like this. Once again, I want to remind you and to ask you to remember how to write the flowchart like this. If you have the if statement, you can write diamond here in order to check for the test expression, and then the body of the if statement will be here, and then if it's true, so you come here, and if it's false, you will go to the statement below if. So it's the way that you have to write the flowchart of the if statement. Okay, this is some examples of the C statement, right? You have already seen this in your previous lab. Okay, and this one is the if-else statement that you may have to understand. And then for if-else statement, right, you can see that this is the way that I put the base set like this, and then similarly to else, right, you can use this, the beginning base set right after else. And this one is the way that you can write the flowchart for if statement. So this is an example of if-else statement in order to check whether the input number is even or odd, right? You can simply use the modulo 2, right? If the number modulo 2 and if it is equal to 0, so this one is the number is even. Otherwise, it's odd, right? Why is that? Because the number can be divisible by 2. What does it mean can be divisible by 2? If a number can be divisible by 2, so it is an even. จำนวนคู่ It's even, right? The number that can be divisible by 2, it means that num modulo 2 equal to 0. There is no remainder. But if num divided by 1, or by 2, sorry, and it's equal to 1, right? It will be odd number, right? It cannot be divisible. So you now do know the word divisible. Okay, this program is quite easy. And then you can also have the nested if, right? If else inside the if else. Okay, we can call it nested if. Nested like nest. Okay. When the birds try to nest, to lay the egg in the nest, right? It will be nested inside the nested. Okay, we call nested if. Okay, if you want to check for the comparison between two numbers like this example, you have 3 conditions, right? Number 1 is equal to number 2, or number 1 is greater than number 2, or otherwise it will less than, right? So you will have 3 cases. But the last cases, you don't have to put if anymore, right? You can just simply check for even whether they are equal or not. If not, we go to else, and then check for the greater than sign. If it is greater than, right? So you can print out greater than. Otherwise, the last case, right? Other than, it is less than. So this is an example of C nested if else. You can use this if all the time, all the ways that you are a programmer and you use C program, right? Okay, that would be all of the things that I would like to explain to you all today about arithmetic expression, relational expression, and also the last one is the if clause on if else. Sorry for the things that happens here, right? Maybe it's not okay for the explanation, but okay, I cannot remove it.